Welcome to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, where we help you take the next step in your fantasy journey. Here's your host, Jake.
I am your host, Jake, and I'm once again joined by my friend Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
Excellent. Ready to go. It's mock draft time, Jake.
It's mock
Come
draft
on.
time. My
It's the
goodness.
best time of the year.
Let me tell you, Coach Adam, who's also here with us drinking his Culvers. I started that off, had my mic muted, so they didn't hear the first few things I said. But they heard that I'm the host. Adam, how are you?
Good. Just braving this winter storm. Want the golf course to open so I can coach some golf this spring, but we'll wait. We'll be patient.
We'll be patient. And that means that we get you once again.
You do.
I love that. Braving the winter storm, drinking some Culvers.
Coke Zero, baby.
It could not be more Wisconsin than
It could
that
not
intro
be
right
more
there, Adam. I
Wisconsin.
love it. I love it.
Birds in my sandwich. You got
First of all, guys, we appreciate you guys being here. We mentioned before, but we are live on YouTube. And also for sticking around with last week's technical difficulties and all that stuff. It was a real pain in the butt. But I got it
Yeah, we
figured
fired
out.
our intern after that.
Yeah, I got it figured out. It took a long time, but I got it figured out. The only thing I didn't get figured out is if you look on the stream, guys, Jordan's head's a little small, but we'll make it do. We like to zoom in on him a little. Still trying to figure out how to get all three of us on here, especially when you can't use 3/4 of the screen because of what we're going to do tonight. And Jordan, what are we doing tonight?
Oh, it's time to talk about mock draft. We've been doing a community mock draft. So the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast community everyone has signed up. They picked a team, and we've been slowly rolling through a mock draft. So we're going to walk through half of that today. Very exciting. And thank you, everyone who participated. It's been fun.
Yes, it has. Jordan, why don't you get us moving?
Well, Adam, can you please give me an intro?
Oh, that's right.
Well, before we get to that, I've got a little game for you.
Surprise! Oh,
Surprise game.
Yeah, I had a student come in today. He shifted through all his NFL player cards and gave me a stack of Bronco players.
Oh,
So-
our specialty.
Specialty, yes. Broncos
That's
Nation,
good.
baby. Broncos country. So my game is simple. I've got a card in my hands. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this player, and you've got to try and guess. You both get one guess.
Okay.
All in. So let's just begin, shall we?
Let's
All
do a
right.
few.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Let's do a few, sure. So this is the last quarterback since Peyton Manning, and the Broncos have had like 10 since then to start games. This is the last Broncos quarterback to have a winning record as the Broncos starter.
Ding.
You got it?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Trevor Simeon.
Correct.
Ha!
Mr. Trevor Simeon. He went 9-7 as a starter his first year after Peyton Manning. Last guy to do it.
Huzzah!
All right, a few more. This one might be tough.
It was the last time that there was a winning record was the year after Peyton Manning.
Correct. Right after
Man,
his-
that's been a long drought for
It
you,
is.
Adam.
It's been tough. Now, listen. Focus. We have a tough one here. It's a tight end that was highly rated coming out of college, but had some injuries. So
Uh-huh.
he was drafted, I believe, in like the 3rd or 4th round. Big athlete. Had a lot of hope for him. Played at the University of Michigan. What you got?
Jake Butt. Ding.
It is Jake
Yeah!
Butt. Look at that, buddy. All right, now this one might be tough.
Jordan, you're just- Jordan, I'm winning. I'm killing you.
Broncos trivia, not my specialty.
This is a quarterback again. Had a lot of hope for him. He is a guy that had a lot of arm strength, a lot of talent, but he flaked out there. He was going to be a dark horse to take over the starting job eventually, but he got in some legal trouble. Apparently broke into a house, drunk or something, slept on a couch, and he was arrested. And he went to CFL for a little bit. Who am I talking about?
Oh, man.
What?
I'm going to go with Jamie on this one. Jamie yells Drew Lock.
It's not Drew Lock.
What college did he go to?
This one went to Ole Miss. He's related to a Hall of Fame player.
Oh, man.
He's the nephew
I'm
Of-
out.
of a Hall
I'm
of
out.
Fame
Who is it?
Chad Kelly.
Chad Kelly. What a legend.
Chad Kelly, baby.
I believe last pick in the draft.
He was Mr.
No
Mr.
Brock Purdy, that's for
All right,
sure.
give us one more and we'll move on.
One more. Okay, here we go.
Because the chat's been failing just as much as we have been. So.
All right. He is the Broncos' leading scorer and one of my favorite players, underrated when I was growing up.
That doesn't give us anything.
Fine. He won a lot of games for the Broncos with his leg.
With his leg. It's not Matt Prater.
It's not Matty Prater.
It's Jason Elam.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
A leading scorer. I wasn't even thinking kicker, but I should have because that's the top.
Oh, that's
So this
awesome.
is
Whatever.
Broncos trivia brought to you by the coach.
I got a lot of cards in the closet. I'm gonna start pulling some stuff out for every week.
I gotta start studying, use them as flashcards or something. Because yikes.
That was more fun than I thought it would be. That's good. Now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for Jordan with the news.
Oh, thank you so much, Adam. We got one piece of news that hot off the press today. Stephon Diggs traded from the Bills to the Texans. Let me hit you with some details here about it, and then I'm curious for your guys' thoughts. So, a little bit of social media stuff. Someone posts on social media, says, does Josh Allen benefit from having a top-tier receiver? Yes. Is he essential to his success? No. Then Stephon Diggs comments on it and says, you sure? Question mark. Then shortly after that, trade is announced.
they
Stephon
trade
Diggs,
him.
Stephon Diggs going to the Texans. Bills get back a 2025 second, so not a second rounder this year, next year's second rounder. And they sent away Stephon Diggs, a sixth rounder this year, and a 2025 fifth next year. So, guys, what are your thoughts? Currently, I'm curious what you think it is for the Texans. And then Bills right now have Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, and Mac Hollins, Andy Isabella, KJ Hamler. End of list for their wide receivers.
End of list. Adam, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I just personally think that Stephon Diggs is the new AB Antonio Brown in the making.
Right.
I do think that. I think he's a yapper. That's a new term my students use a lot when you talk too much. You're yapping. He likes to talk. I think for the Texans, though, man, I'm excited for C.J. Stroud. Draft stock up for him in a lot of leagues for fantasy purposes. Stephon Diggs, kind of a crowded room, though, now. So if you take him in fantasy, I mean, Tank Dell's there, Nico Collins. Not too hyped if I'm a Stephon Diggs owner in a Dynasty League, right, Jake? So that's how I feel about that trade. For the Bills, I don't know. Josh Allen, but
Okay. Yeah, I agree with what Adam said. I think that for Josh Allen, that sucks, right? I mean, I guess it offers some value out of Curtis Samuel now, I guess, for now. I'm assuming they're going to probably draft someone. With the Texans, yep, great for C.J. Stroud. I think that we're probably looking at like wide receiver 2 for Nico Collins and for Stephon Diggs going into next year. They'll have some really good games, some pretty bad games every so often. I think it hurts Tank Dell, I guess, coming off an injury, but it's just busy. Joe Mixon and Dalton Schultz, and it's a good offense.
Yeah, I'll talk about just the business of it first. Like, what are the Bills even doing? I see Don posted in the chat the same thing. It just seems very bizarre. I get it maybe from the locker room perspective. Like Stephon Diggs has been kind of toxic, so hey, let's get him out. But for a second rounder next year, which will likely be not that good of a pick because of what we just said, the Texans are loaded now on offense. So I'm curious about it, especially just with the timing. Stephon Diggs had just a weird ending there in Buffalo. But yeah, I think for Stephon Diggs, it's going to be more drama in Houston. He was so concerned about the amount of targets he was getting in Buffalo, and now he's going to a place that there's even more competition for targets. So very, very weird about that. I'm actually not that worried about Josh Allen from a fantasy perspective because of how much he runs, and like that's so much of his fantasy value. So they'll draft someone. It could probably hurt him a little bit, but yeah, it's overall C.J. Stroud, the big winner of that trade.
for sure.
Yep.
You don't think teams are going to game plan for Josh Allen's running more than ever?
Yeah, without Stephon Diggs, maybe,
Yeah, right.
probably, right?
And no big game Gabe.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about the rest of the Bills. Like they've lost, so many different starters, and especially on defense too. Like it's
What are they doing?
We can get more into that during the division breakdowns, which will be
yeah, we
coming up
definitely
here soon.
should. Yeah, they're an
Maybe we
interesting
can start
one.
with
And I'm
the
sure there will be
AFC
more.
East.
Yeah.
All right, so just kind of reviewing for anyone who doesn't know, we've been hosting a community mock draft. So the way this works is, for example, we'll talk about Troy. He had pick 1, so he had the Chicago Bears. You make the pick. You drop 2-3 sentences as to why you think it. We might agree with it. We might disagree with it. That's what we're going to quickly talk about. But we're just kind of seeing what people think is going to happen or what they want to happen. And I think there's people who are picking what they want to happen, and there are people picking what they think will happen, right? So it'll be kind of interesting to see what we do here.
Yeah, it's especially fun if some people sign up for like their hometown teams and stuff, the team that they love the most, and so a lot of the, there's a lot of emotion sometimes behind it. Like, that's why I could not sign up for the Packers. It's just it's too much pressure.
When I made the thing, I just straight gave one of our friends the Packers. I was like, it's not going to be me.
It can't be.
I texted him and was like, hey, just so you know, you're the Packers. All right, so why don't we get this up? I kind of have split it up into three picks per, and then I'll switch the picture as we go. So, boys, you haven't seen this yet, but it looks pretty good. Graphic department, really killing it.
Yeah, just
if it's all right,
top tier.
Yeah, just to kind of pivot a little, Jordan, if you wouldn't mind actually reading these things. I'm currently wearing contacts that are not very good, so I can't really squint. I'll have to get really close to the thing, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that either.
No one wants to see me this close.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so pick number 1. Music, Adam, please.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh my gosh, we should have had it ready. We're not doing that every time.
No. Adam's always got it for me, I know. First pick, Chicago Bears take Caleb Williams. So Troy made this pick. He says the arm, the accuracy, the touch are all there. Keeps his eyes downfield, looking for his receivers, leadership on and off the field, winning attitude. No surprise, especially after that Justin Fields trade, that they were going to draft a quarterback. Caleb Williams, top 1.
I have nothing to add. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what Bear fans now want to happen. It's pretty easy. Moving on, then I'm just going to move on. Then we got John B., who has Washington and makes the most polarizing pick of this whole thing. He goes with Bo Nix at number 2. Jordan, want to read that for me?
Yes, 45 touchdowns is all that needs to be said. Bo is the quarterback that is actually the most ready to play. Big arm, smart with ball placement, beat Williams head-to-head in college. That was what John says about taking Bo Nix at number 2. Adam, thoughts? And then Jake, because Jake, I see it all over your face. You're ready to comment.
Okay.
I can't speak poorly of anyone's pick on this. I do just want to say it's not what I would have done. I don't think it's what a lot of people would have done. But hey, people have done crazier stuff in drafts before in real life. Teams have fallen in love with a guy, and maybe John B. really likes Bo Nix. And he was impressive. I'd be happy if the Broncos take him in real life, but am I going to take him at 2? Probably not. With other guys there like Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy and all those other guys, Drake May. So just not my cup of tea. And by the way, when we say John B., it's not the guy from the Outer Banks show.
Yeah,
thank you,
just
Adam.
so we're clear.
Clarify, it's...
So I kind of commented when the thing first happened and maybe came on a bit strong. I think in my head I was just visualizing this as what do you think is going to happen, right? And I didn't really make that clear. So this is clearly something that John wants to happen, and I just don't see it. And for me it was just he beat Williams head to head. I don't care about that even slightly, just because in college it doesn't matter. Like, it really just doesn't. So yes, I would have went other places. I think he's going to be the 6th quarterback off the board. That is what I will predict. I think Penix goes before him, but crazier stuff has happened.
I don't think that's true. I don't think Penix is going to go before him. I completely understand the sentiment of take the quarterback who's most QB ready, i.e. the person who has had the most reps in college.
Mhm.
I think at pick 2, though, it's upside only. Like,
Yeah.
that is what you care about when you're picking in the top 5. So I think I agree with you guys. It wouldn't be Bo Nix here. If the Commanders really want Bo Nix, they should trade this pick and
Yeah.
jump back to like pick 14 and take Bo Nix.
What's crazy?
I understand the sentiment there, and I think it keeps changing. Like J.J. McCarthy, we were like a month ago, people were like, might not even be in the first round, and now people are like, he's the number 2 QB on the board.
Yep.
The Commanders might take him second overall. So, and don't forget, you guys thought Drake May was better than Caleb Williams. So,
Still do.
I
things
still
change.
stand by
Things
that.
change fast.
I still do.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So just the last thing, and I just want to say before we quickly move on here, because we're going to try and keep it short for each pick. I like how we're arguing over Bo Nix here. None of us feel good about that, but it's very likely we're talking about like a guy who's going to go in the top 20. Whether or not he deserves to go in the top 20 is a different story, but he's still a first round quarterback, most likely.
Yes.
All right, keep it moving.
All right, number 3. Speaking of Drake May, the Patriots take Drake May here. Jesse says he possesses all the qualities to become a great passer in the NFL. He gives the Patriots an opportunity to grow around him with first-year rookie head coach Gerard Mayo, and he fills the void that Mac Jones was unable to fill.
Yes.
He
Drake-
can't be worse than
Oh, hey, don't say that. Don't say that.
it's perfect. He cannot be worse.
I love Drake May. I've said that before. He is Justin Herbert. That's who I see. They have the same.
He's
build.
Justin Herbert without Keenan Allen or Mike Williams or Austin Eckler or,
Well,
that's
in
that's
fairness,
the problem.
you're about to see Justin Herbert do all that as well next year.
Yeah,
And Justin Herbert did not win a lot of games with those guys, did he, Jordan? Or...
yeah. So what do you?
No, but
exactly,
he was
what
a
are we
fantasy
saying?
quarterback. He was
Yeah,
good.
what are we saying about Drake May?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
But I really like Drake May. Clearly, you guys don't as well. But I think it's,
I do,
I
but
think
next.
I think it's him, Williams, and Daniels. They're going 1, 2, 3, whatever order you want, and I would be happy with all 3 of them. To be honest.
Yeah,
If I was-
Patriots is the worst spot though. Like when I'm thinking about fantasy, I want the quarterback that goes to New England the least, no matter who
of
it
these
is.
3.
Of these 3, whoever the first 3 are, I want the one who goes to New England the least. And there's rumors out there that New England might try and trade out of this spot.
Which would be a good spot.
They might get a haul and trade out of this spot and take Jacoby Brissett, which I know Adam loves. Adam loves his boy
I can't
Jacoby.
wait for that.
From guy, right?
All right, pick 4. We got Marvin Jones. Marvin Harrison Jr. says Arizona needs a big time number 1 wide receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr. fits the bill at this moment. Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch. Not Dortch. That's the tight end for the Broncos. Dortch are the projected starters. He's one of the best route runners and is sure-handed in this draft. Joey goes ahead and tells us that. He's one of the best receiving prospects we've seen in over a decade. Like, he'd come in and
Yes.
could provide wide receiver 1 numbers in fantasy immediately. And it's a perfect spot for him.
I'm just mad that you called Greg Dortch the Broncos tight end. It's Greg Dulcich.
Sorry, my apologies.
You better just get it right.
That's for trivia next week. Broncos trivia next week.
But I think you guys are going to agree. Really good player. Arizona's a great fit there. I don't know if he goes here. So every mock has Harrison going this high, but with trades and whatnot, we could see him fall a little. So it'd be interesting. I saw a thing that was like, man, John Harbaugh has been talking up J.J. McCarthy constantly so that someone will trade up to spot 4 and then he can take Marvin Harrison.
Then he can take Marvin Harrison. It might work.
Yeah, I know.
That might work.
All right. Jordan, you want to do this one?
Great. Let's jump to the next one. Malik Neighbors going at number 5 to the Chargers. So this, again, another great trade back opportunity. Important to call out. In the community mock, we did no trades.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
So we're just assuming everyone takes their pick here. But the Chargers got to reload. They got to reload their offense. They lost everybody. And they were in contract or cap, just purgatory. trying to
HE
figure all
double
that out.
hockey sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So no Alliams, no Keenan Allen, no Mike Williams. They just got to take whoever the best wide receiver is. They're in a great spot right here because you're exactly right. Marvin Harrison could fall to 5, but for sure they can get Neighbors, and he's really high upside. I like this pick too.
Well, and truly, it's not a bad idea to pair him with Quentin Johnson, who I think will be better with Jim Harbaugh. I think people are quick to write him off after 1 year.
I am.
It's 1 year.
That
Jake.
dude is bad.
It's 1 year. But did you see his head coach?
He is Corey Coleman.
Did you see his head coach? Anyway, Malik Neighbors, great pick. Like Jordan said, the Chargers got to reload.
I think a receiver going to the Chargers would be really exciting, right? Justin Herbert gets a brand new guy. Like, that'd be really fun. And then moving on.
So I should say, sorry, I should read.
Oh, yeah, go
Sean
ahead.
says, this draft is a pretty easy choice for Neighbors. Without Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, wide receiver room is hurting. It's hard not to take a top wide receiver in this spot. So I think we all agreed with that. I should have read that. Sean, great pick.
Yeah. Yep. The chat says Quentin Johnson can't catch a cold. Joey says that's an insult to Corey Coleman. So, not Quentin Johnson fans.
Wow.
Not a hot take
Wow.
by the
All right, well, I will take him in the 19th round of my draft just to see what happens. Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. Pick 6 is interesting. We got Jaden Daniels going to the Giants. That is something that's picked up steam a little here in the last probably week. There's reports that they're very concerned about
Daniel Jones.
Thank you. My gosh. Worried about his health, that knee, because it seems like he's always hurt. If Jaden Daniels is staring them in the face at pick 6, you have to do it.
They're going to take him. Yeah,
And you know who's going to get screwed? Drew Lock. Gosh. He says Daniels is the perfect dual threat prospect with a big arm and lightning quick speed. He would do well with a year of seasoning, especially with such a shaky offense around him. Luckily, the Giants can throw out Daniel Jones to start the year. Luke Z said that. Honestly, yeah. The only problem is you're paying Daniel Jones so much money. But, I mean, they totally could do that, right?
But like any mistake, you just got to bite the bullet and move on, man.
Yeah,
That's
and I
true.
think we're seeing that more. I think, like, Russell Wilson is a good
yeah.
example of that, but I think there's
Trey
more and more
Lance.
teams that are willing to just eat the cost to get out from under a bad contract, a
Yep.
bad player, something like that, and then saying, we'll figure it out later. But, I mean, Jaden Daniels will be cheap, so.
It'd be like the Niners getting out of Trey Lance, right, Jake?
Yeah.
Whoop.
Yep. Whoops. Whoops. Great. We're going to get demonetized for making. All right. Next up, we got picks 7 and 8, and then I have the next set over here. We got the Titans. Jordan, you want to read that one?
No,
Yeah,
I got it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Give it to
please.
me.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Daniel P. says, there is a glaring hole in the offensive line, and he is the best lineman in the class. Let me repeat that. The best lineman in the class. Titans got weapons during free agency to help Will Levis, so drafting an offensive lineman is almost a no-brainer, especially an offensive lineman from, wait for it, Notre Dame, baby! Joe Alt. Just a star at Notre Dame, underrated last year at the beginning of the year. Best lineman in the draft. I agree, Daniel. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I mean, you're going all in on Levis, which it looks like that, right? You lose Henry. I think Henry wanted to go. But, you replace him with Pollard. You go and get Calvin Ridley. You got D-Hop still over there. Now you just got to keep him up, right?
Yep.
Will Levis reminds me of, like, Brett Favre, a guy who just can throw it harder than everyone else but throws picks.
Yeah.
And if you're going all in on him, the next thing you can do is get him a tackle, and I think he is the best tackle. So I think I like the pick there. Good job, Daniel. Jordan, anything to add, or just good job?
Yeah, I think the only thing, and we're going to get into it with the next pick too, the Titans and the Falcons, to me, are in the best spot in this draft. They are going to just sit back and watch kind of chaos in those first 6 picks between quarterbacks and wide receivers and people trying to trade up and everything. And they're going to sit back and they're going to get the best offensive lineman and likely the best defensive player in the draft and don't have to do anything about it. And so I think this is great. Usually we see offensive linemen going earlier for just the, it's such a prime position offensive tackle is. But yeah, great pick. Great pick.
All right, moving on. We got pick 8, the Atlanta Falcons. Terry P comes in with the in-depth reasoning. Dallas Turner. Falcons are taking Turner because they need a solid pass rusher. Why say more? Less is
Say
more.
We all do.
That
Yep.
is
Short and concise. Love it.
And they're right. He's right. They need it. Dallas Turner, just a stud out there. I also like the pick there.
Do you guys think? I'm curious. During the draft, if when trades and stuff like that happen, do you still think the first defensive player goes at 8? That seems pretty late.
Yes, I do. I think it could be later.
I think so too, but I think that's kind of shocking.
I think it could be later.
Even later.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive heavy draft. So
yeah. Great for fantasy, especially in your dynasty drafts. Get picks in your dynasty drafts. Moving on to pick 9, Troy's back up. He took Caleb Williams with the first pick with the Bears, and now he's going Rome Odunze. 6'3", 212, ran a 40 at 4.45. Good leader, tough, dependable. He'll make a great third option behind Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Yes. Fantasy-wise, you probably won't see the return unless there's an injury to start, but Keenan Allen's getting up there, so it might be a year or two, but I think Rome Odunze really could flourish. Like a good example would be who the Seattle Seahawks take this past year. Jackson Smith. Yeah, Jackson Smith, Nick Jigba. We could definitely see more of maybe a down first year, but him starting to take a leap this year. I think we could see the same thing here with Mr. Odunze.
But if you're going all in with Caleb Williams, might as well give him all the help he can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, the Bears are just. If you were a Bears fan, you'd be so excited. Like
Makes
this
me
has
want to
got to be
take
the
their
most
team
excited
and
you've been about your team. This has got to be the most excited you've been about your team in years.
Since 1985.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
Since Rex
Basically, since the
Grossman.
Broncos were good, right, Adam?
Rex Grossman, Easy.
Easy. Good pick. I like that pick. I think you could see a defensive player too here, depending on who's there. A tackle. If Joe Alt's staring in your face, they do have a decent offensive line as it sits, but Joe Alt's staring at you, they might go that route. But they really don't have a third receiver off the top of my head right now because they did lose Darnell Mooney, who got paid so much more money than he should have down in Atlanta. So, Jordan, pick 10.
All right, pick 10. We got Adonai Mitchell, another wide receiver. It's all about wide receivers in this draft.
Apparently.
Again, just echoing how great that is for fantasy. Mitchell's size is a great compliment to Garrett Wilson, so he's going to the Jets. His long speed, hand-eye coordination are needed additions to an Aaron Rodgers offense. This was Cindy who shared this, or made this pick. This is a classic Jets pick. Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
Do I think he's going to go this early? No, I don't. But how many times have we seen someone who just loves the fast guy and he goes and takes him early? That's where I could see this happening. I don't think it will, but...
And Jordan said it's a classic Jets pick. That would be a classic New York Jets pick.
They don't need him. They don't need him, but they're going to do it. Yeah.
They do it because Aaron Rodgers wants it.
Yeah, correct.
They don't even slightly need it.
No, they need offensive linemen.
Oh my God, yes.
I get it. They brought in people in free agency, but it's just people who are 30 plus who have injury history. It's just, what are the Jets doing? Also, they would take Brock Bowers because they're going to be like, we need a tight end. It's for the same reason, just fun stuff for Aaron Rodgers. I don't hate the pick. It's something that I could see happening. This is more about my feelings about the Jets as a franchise.
Yeah.
than anything. All right, number 11.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, Adam, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, sorry.
Number 11. Are we sure we want to give this one to me? Or?
No, I was asking if you wanted to say anything about Mitchell.
Nah, I'm good.
All right, cool.
Okay, well, I can do number 11. Okay. Number 11, Minnesota Vikings, taking J.J. McCarthy. He's a competitive player that will extend plays and is dangerous on third downs. Kevin O'Connell will look to groom him into a Kirk Cousins-esque player that isn't afraid to use his legs when the pocket breaks down. This was Joey that shared that. So, Adam, it looks like you have some thoughts about this. What do you think?
Yeah, as the Broncos general manager at pick 12, I called Joey the general manager of the Vikings. I tried to trade up to McCarthy. Just did not happen. So I am bummed, but the Vikings are getting apparently the next big messiah, if you will, of quarterbacks that just rose up quickly the last few weeks before the draft. So I think it's a great pick. I think pairing him with Kevin O'Connell is a great idea. So I love it if I'm a Vikings fan.
This could see this happening earlier if the Vikings trade up and take J.J. McCarthy, right? So if you sit at 11 and get him, that would be fantastic.
Oh, they're happy.
Oh, yeah. I love this fit probably the most of, like, other than Caleb Williams. I really like that. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Aaron Jones, you got the good head coach. Like, just seems like a match made in heaven, does it not?
Mm.
There's no way J.J. McCarthy makes it out of the top 10, and there's no way that the Vikings stay with their 2 first-round picks. But if this happened and then they had another pick later, it would just be parades in the streets already.
Parades
in
in the
Minneapolis.
streets.
Yeah.
So
All
Joey
right.
said he would have done the trade deal if I would have thrown in a foot-long sub again.
That's because we still owe him.
I know. I owe him a Firehouse.
You guys
sub.
still owe me.
Really sure. Yeah, what's
You
the
guys-
heck's going on with
Jordan,
this
I
sub?
owe you 6 inches, okay? All right, Adam, you're up.
So, on that note, the Broncos with the 12th pick.
This is a family show, Jake. All right,
I'm
Broncos,
talking
come on,
about
Adam.
subs.
We pick Quinyon Mitchell, who is another guy that's gained a lot of traction leading up to the draft here. I guess I'll quote myself here, not to be a narcissist, but the Broncos get a stud and good value in Mitchell. He's a do-it-all cornerback that can start opposite Surtain immediately. The Broncos could obviously trade back here, but they get a boost in their secondary. So again, walking that line of I didn't know if I was supposed to be reality what they would do, so that's why I threw the trade bit in there because I could realistically see the Broncos trading back. But ultimately, Quinyon Mitchell, great talent. I think he could start right away opposite Surtain. And if the Broncos are looking to, trade back, pick them and then see if they can feel around and see who would give a few picks or a guy that they like on another team maybe. So I don't know. Or trade Surtain. Who knows? I truly don't know what the Broncos are doing yet. So, but I like this guy.
Adam, if McCarthy's sitting there, you take him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If Bo Nix is sitting there, do you take
Bo
him?
Nix or Penix is there?
Oh, yeah.
No, Penix was there when Adam made this pick.
Not Penix. Sorry. I would take Bo Nix.
You would have taken Bo Nix here.
Yeah, I would have taken Bo Nix.
Gotcha.
I thought he was going to fall into my lap, if I'm being honest, because that would make most sense. Penix, if I could go back and redo this, I just saw on a Broncos Denver TV talk show, they had Brian Baldinger on there, and he was like, go all in on Penix. He's sneaky, rising up the boards behind the scenes, I guess, with how hard he's working, and NFL teams are more interested in him than they're letting on, I guess, according to him. So,
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's a good corner. I think later on we're going to get to a pick here where someone says in their thing, they get the best corner. And I laughed because I was like, Adam. Yeah, it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick, and every Broncos fan is hoping for the quarterback to be there, though.
right.
I mean, that's what they want. So, maybe they need to move up. What's interesting is, you get the Broncos or the Raiders, who we're going to talk to next. If you move up 3 spots, you'll get your guy.
Right.
So, you'd really have to do it. So, moving on to the Raiders, who I think they're visiting with Penix today. So, clearly a possibility.
Broncos
Jordan,
met with them for a few hours yesterday.
Yep. Jordan, I can't read that, so go ahead.
On the Raiders here?
Yeah.
So they're taking J.C. Latham, tackle out of Alabama. So the Raiders are in need of a right tackle. J.C. Latham is the best true right tackle in the draft. A trade back is also possible here for J.C. Latham. So the Raiders might take a quarterback here, but this is a great pick. I've seen some mocks where J.C. Latham goes in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like
He's
Chargers
really
take him
good.
at 5.
He's
Yeah.
really good. So if someone wanted him over Alt, it's not my cup of tea. But if someone would have done that, I would have said, okay, definitely could play right tackle and might be able to switch him over to left tackle as well. I like the idea of trading back. The Raiders are fun. They could stay put, get a really good offensive tackle. They could
Raiders
move
are
up.
Fun.
Yes, they could move
Stop
up.
Next pick, please.
No, they could move up or they could move back. They're really just a fluid pick. Adam, can you do number 14 for us?
Gladly.
Olu Fashuno. I'll just say it. There you go. Offensive tackle, Penn State.
One more time.
You guys are just
What's his name?
Olu Fashuno.
Olum Fashuno. Got
That's
it.
that's not what I wrote.
Fashuno gives the Saints an immediate upgrade at left tackle, where Trevor Penning has struggled to protect the Saints QB. He has freaky athleticism and long arms, something he'll utilize and develop against pass rushers. Joey M. So Joey, thank you for your pick. Two of them in this draft. Yeah, they need help because let's be honest, Derek Carr is not the most mobile athlete in the world, so he's gonna need to get all the help he can get on that O-line.
Poor Derek Carr.
Wow. Adam, you were so high on Derek Carr last year. What happened?
I'd double down on it again.
I think the Saints need young, cheap talent that they can build around because they're like 2 years they got to deal with some cap stuff. So I like it. I think Derek Carr is the same from a fantasy perspective if this happens.
Do you think they would take a quarterback?
No.
If anyone were to slip, I don't see quarterbacks slipping in this draft, but I mean,
There's always one,
we're
though.
looking at 3 teams that could possibly do it.
I don't think they do it just because, again, Derek Carr's got a few years yet. They don't have to take a quarterback next year either. I think they could just go all in with Derek Carr and try and build the best team around him. So.
Yeah, I don't think because of who's in front of them, Vikings, Broncos, Raiders, I don't think a quarterback is sitting at 14 for anybody. Just
and the
because those
Saints
3 teams aren't
Saints aren't
QB.
they're not in the toughest division. So,
How dare you say that about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Don, no
Yeah,
offense, the
respect.
South is still bad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
All right,
And
number
and
15.
Kirk Cousins and the Falcons? Come on, Adam.
Jeez. Gosh, it's no. Oh my gosh. All right, number 15. Jordan, who we got?
All right, we got Arnold corner out of Alabama. Considered to be a top corner in this class. He's played in big games, being from Alabama, so don't be surprised to see another big playmaking corner like Diggs with this guy. That's Eric who said that. So another corner, top corner in the class, Adam.
Eric, I respectfully disagree, and I hope you're still a fan of the show when I'm done with you.
I'm done with you.
Let's just not get on the Alabama hype train again here, right? The Alabama corners always seem to be the best in the class. Good pick still here. I'm just giving you crap there, Eric. Thanks for participating.
All right. And then we're going to wrap it up. We'll do the second half here next week. But we got the Seattle Seahawks taking Michael Penix Jr. And I know you boys don't watch wrestling, but John put out just a beautiful video and of LA Knight. And every time LA Knight says something, he goes, yeah. And what's funny is he put out a video of he walked in and he's like, here's who I'm going to take. And then he did a skit. And I just love it. Just the best community. And then Jordan texts me and goes, I know that's supposed to be funny, but I just don't get any of it.
Don't get it. Why is this a wrestling show? How come we can never escape WrestleMania references?
Well, boys,
on this
it's
show.
WrestleMania this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Is The Rock wrestling?
Yes,
put
he
my money
is.
on him again. Oh my god.
Jordan, go like this. Go like this. Put your finger up.
No,
Put your finger
We're
up.
not doing this.
Acknowledge him.
I refuse.
All right. So
refuse.
kind of a surprising pick here. He says Penix will have the same offensive coordinator as he did in college. He can sit behind Geno and learn the game, taking a play from the Packers. Yeah, I mean, I could see this. Sure.
A little different than the
It's a little different, but I mean, I could see it. I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't mind it. If they want to if they believe in him, want to let him sit for a year, go for it,
It's a new day in Seattle. I would also be surprised if this happened, but we see it. We've seen it happen before. It's hey, they bring new coach, new leadership in, and then they say, well, I want my guy. I want the guy that the quarterback I want. Geno Smith's on a smaller deal. That's not
He's
big money over. And so it would be surprising. I don't think it's the right decision for the Seahawks, but I wouldn't be necessarily truly shocked if something like this happened.
Yeah, I mean it's honestly they could use some more help on the defensive side. I think
Yeah.
realistically. However, Michael Penix, if he's rising up the boards like Brian Baldinger said today, I mean, who knows? Someone's maybe going to just take a shot at him. So,
All right, guys, there you have it. That is picks 1 through 16 is still currently going on. I believe we're at pick 21 off the top of my head. So that'll be done here soon, and then we'll get back and we'll do the second half of the mock draft next week. Boys, do you have anything else you want to say?
go Broncos.
No? Okay, cool. Great, guys.
Go Tigers. And by the way, go Twins. They beat the Brewers today, baby. Let's go.
They lost to the Brewers yesterday, though.
Doesn't matter. Today's a new day.
It's a new day. Yes, it is. Jordan? He just waves. He's just like, I'm done.
Great show. Thanks,
good
everyone.
show. Hey, we appreciate everyone being around and everything. And we will see you guys next week.
Listening to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast.